Hey everybody, Sam here and welcome back to Samcraft. In today's video I'm continuing to work on my workshop build, my brand new 20 foot wide, 32 foot long shop. In this video we are all about decking it out. It is finally time to get the plywood on top of the joists, lock everything down, give myself a safe, secure deck, and take just the next step on building this shop. In my previous videos, I have put out some of the plywood already, although it is only very loosely attached with a few screws. I put that out there to give myself a nice square frame and allow me to finish out framing and blocking my floor to hopefully give myself the perfect reveal, perfect shape, and perfect looking floor in the end. I really want to get this deck down as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do is pin this plywood down with screws around the perimeter lightly, but then I will go back and fill in with 2-inch long ring shank galvanized nails with my nail gun after it's been pinned down. I want to do that, number one, just to get as much of this floor covered as possible, but also number two, get this plywood coming across my floor framing members so I know that we're good and square, so I can go back and finish attaching to my middle beam and then my last beam with my hurricane brackets and everything below. I just want to get this done so I know that my floor is good. It's kind of still hanging over me that sure, it's all framed up and done, but I'm not sure 100% that it doesn't need tweaked here and there, and I still know I've got to attach it to the beams. So that being said, you're going to see me very loosely attach the plywood to the floor. Don't think that's it. Trust me, that's not it. It's just enough to get it held down in place properly without moving, get it flat, and allow me to move on to the next piece. I am choosing to use plywood for this construction because it's the exact same material I did for my floor in my current workshop, and it has held up great. It has lasted a very long time. It looks good, super strong and sturdy, and is relatively affordable. Sure, you could do treated plywood if you want to, but my floor is not that close to the ground where I'm concerned about water or bug infestation or rotting. And also being an exterior grade plywood, this will stand up to the weather and elements as I finish out building, drying in, and completing the shop. I've used OSB tongue and groove flooring in the past and it works okay. There are some things you need to know about tongue and groove, certain kinds of way to install it, adhesives, spacing and stuff like that. But I prefer to use plywood because it is truly 48 inches wide, 96 inches long, and it's just a better material, in my opinion, for this kind of application. I started off this morning by attaching all of my floor joists to our center beam. It is locked down perfectly tight and secure. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and down to this other end, measure and cut my half sheet of plywood, attach it down there, take the excess, bring it over here, and attach it as well, which will finish out my second row of plywood. I just finished putting down my 2 half sheets of plywood, and my son was out here watching, and he asked a question that I think some of you may also be wondering in case you've never seen this kind of construction before. His question was, why did I cut the sheets in half? Why not just leave them full sheets, start them down on this end, and fill all the way across? The reason you don't want to do that is it puts all of your plywood joints on the same floor joist and can make the floor bounce and flex a lot easier. If you have your overlaps, you're not really going to break and bounce that as much. The same kind of concept applies with whenever I did my floor framing and my joists. They're not butted up in the center because they could flex and move. overlapping them, you're really not going to be able to break that 4-foot length of sistering, connections, and bonding between the joists, and it really just gives you a rock solid floor, better feeling structure, and something that's going to weather and age a lot better with foot traffic, machinery traffic, and just building movements in general. This is the part where the sistered floor joists have moved over, and you might think, well, great, that's not getting complicated. As long as I was good and correct about spacing these joists 16 inches on center, all I need to do is shift it down a little bit, line it up with my roughly 4-foot mark, should span over, and continue laying this. Your joints will be off a little bit from the other side of the wood because we have moved over the 1.5 inch spacing, but otherwise the panel should line up, the floor joist should line up, and hopefully it's not going to be a big nightmare. Well, we did get rained out for a while, and we went to the store, got some more screws that I needed, and also picked up a new tool. So here's a look at my current circular saw. This is a Craftsman 20-volt cordless saw. This is the 6.5 inch blade size, and is the one that came with a combo kit that I bought about 4 years ago. It has done well. This little guy was born or brought into a world of DIY-isms, and even though it is a consumer grade saw, an entry-level priced, it was put to work. I used it renovating our house, kitchen, living room, bedroom, boys' bathroom, our master bedroom, laundry room, everything. Then we used it for building our decks out here, and I've been using it for building my new workshop as well. This little guy has started to give up the ghost. It does not seem to have as much power as it used to, and even with different blades and different batteries on it, it still can struggle after a little while to really cut through the stuff, especially the 2x8 framing members of the floor and just other things in general. So with that being said, it's time to say goodbye to the little Craftsman 6.5 inch circular saw. You've done a good job, you've gone through a hard life, and now you're being replaced. What did it get replaced with? This guy, the Craftsman 7.25 inch brushless RP cordless circular saw. I went with the same Craftsman battery system because I have a ton of Craftsman batteries and tools that I bought over the years, and it just made sense to stick with the same battery ecosystem. I like this one because it's got a larger blade. It is a true 7.25 inch diameter, which is good. It is also brushless, which means it should be longer lasting, have more power, good. I like the aluminum foot on the saw. It's very rigid, very durable, and it has a built-in LED light right down here, kind of out of the way, which does light up things as you're cutting. So, awesome. Welcome, Craftsman brushless 7.25 saw. You are also not just a homeowner consumer grade tool, and you're gonna get put to work. So I hope you're ready. Let's take a second and realize where we are and what we're on top of. We are on top of the plywood, secured, finished plywood on top of the floor of the new workshop. This is a pretty awesome milestone. In real time, because I know YouTube timelines are just not reality, this is exactly 11 days since starting this project. 11 days and we're already standing on plywood. Nice. Well, let's not jinx it. Let's go ahead and get back to work. I'm going to continue just pulling down the full sheets of plywood. Go ahead and finish out this row. At the ends, I've got some half sheets to cut. I'll bring you guys in for that one. But for now, let's just get to work, pulling down the sheets, attaching the perimeter with screws, moving on to the next, and I'll probably see you guys when it's time to cut some wood with that new tool.
Well, it's pretty easy, and I'm going to get paid, I bet. What?
You're going to get paid?
Yeah. I like the money.
I thought you were doing a charity case.
Hey, I like getting paid.
Go ahead and drag over this way. Stay on the plywood. Great job, son.
Well, thank you. I don't see how I did it that fast.
You're great.
Ooh, don't hit the camera. Do we need this piece on?
No, we don't need it up here. But, wait. Don't just throw it out in the yard. Let's put it over with the other stacks.
Okay. Okay.
See how it's about the width of your thumb away from the edge?
Yeah.
Let's do that. We don't want to crack the plywood.
Okay.
So your one's down there, put it about that far back and center it on top of that floor joist.
At least I got my mark.
Yes. There you go. All right, let's do the one behind you.
Some chicken. Beat some chicken.
Bits and chicken. What?
No, beat some chicken.
Beat some chicken?
Yeah, like
Oh,
whooping
it's
it.
kicking chicken. Well guys, I finished up by getting the new plywood from the store the other day, putting it down, and as you can see, this floor turned out nice. I continue to be really pleased and impressed with how well things are lining up as this building progresses. Of course, that's the goal I wanted to have, and I did have, but seeing that it actually is taking place just continues to surprise me and really makes me feel good and proud about the building that I'm building so far. The building we're building is building out good. As you can see from the installation with the sistering of the floor joists, it did put my spacing down just a little bit, and I decided to add a somewhat small piece there on this last corner, but that will be fine. I wanted to have full sheets or as large of sheets as I could to fill out the rest of it, and this corner being literally in the corner and not being right there at the front door or at a high traffic area is going to be fine. The plywood is also considered 3/4 inch thick, although it's 23/32 of an inch thick, and it is very durable, exterior grade, sanded plywood, very strong stuff, which will hold up great to foot traffic, but also tool traffic, as this space gets filled up with stuff. That's going to be it for the floor installation. If you guys got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them for me down below. Remember, if you've just plopped and dropped on this one video, there's a link to a video playlist below that will take you through the beginning and finish of this entire project of building this workshop myself. Otherwise, take care. I'll see you guys next time working on the workshop.